it, or do I open it and we share my screen? How does that work?
Well, I mean, it's not like a live, like it's not gonna be moving around or anything. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, I
That's
can
fine.
share it with you because like nothing's gonna be changing. It's static, so we kind of
Yeah,
go
no, okay,
over.
I'll do it just so we can like focus on areas and stuff.
No, let me share it with you then. Want to do it that way? Give me 1 sec.
Okay.
Share. Here you go. Oh, my bad. You didn't know which channel we were in.
So what am I doing here?
So all you
Okay.
gotta do is just click like watch stream or something.
Watch stream? Yeah, I
Yeah,
see it. Okay.
and now you'll see the browser's up, so you don't have to watch the
Okay.
stream.
Okay. All
Um,
right. Cool. So do you want to go now? Or do we want to like let people like announce and let people join?
well, I mean, I guess we'll give it a minute or two, let people join up, and we'll talk about what we're doing here.
Okay, let me advertise on the French Discord.
Yeah. The chat. Why is it so hard to read the chat? Why is all the text like?
It looks fine to me.
I mean, doesn't the chat look all white?
Oh, the overlay? Well,
Yeah.
I'm just watching that like through normal Twitch, I guess, and I see the normal sidebar. So
Try this.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, let me try this. Let's see.
Okay, let's see. Let me get a link.
I guess what I can add, like, alright, I have an idea. Alright, this is what we're gonna do, guys. I got an idea. First of all, we're gonna load up a random match. Right? So I want to make sure everyone here is, you know, retained and whatnot. Then, that. Then we're kind of just fill it. Kind of go.
You want to post this in like the 2x channel or whatever?
Yeah.
In the Discord?
So now you guys can watch ST while we, you know. Well, let me change the color of this block. Make it what? Purple? Ugh, that's terrible. Alright.
Oh yeah, you got the little ST in the corner. Okay, sure.
Yeah, so people have someone to watch.
Sure, yeah, no, that's fine. Okay.
Alright, I don't know. I'm just gonna go with this color. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so now you guys got stuff that you can watch, chat saved, and we can go over. I'll just need someone to keep an eye on when the match ends, so you guys can let me know. I'm not really looking at that, but
Okay, something.
so,
Yeah, so Steve, this is the, so maybe let's give a context for people that don't know. So this weekend is going to be probably, I would say, the biggest, talent-wise, the biggest ST tournament I think I may have ever seen outside of Japan, both in numbers and in talent. I think we've got 101 or 102 attendees, with the biggest names, easily the biggest names in Europe, and some very, very big names in North America. And it's interesting that there are no Japanese players. I think that's what really puts this tournament aside. Usually in these sort of big non-Japanese tournaments, there tends to be one or two Japanese tournaments one or two Japanese participants that come, and usually they end up winning the whole thing or placing really high. But in this case, there's no Japanese players whatsoever, but like absolute the top talent in Europe. Almost every top level player in Europe, and a lot of top North American players as well. So this is really, I think for me, extremely exciting, extremely awesome tournament. They have, I think, 32 ST cabinets on site. I just want you to, people in chat, just think about that. 32 ST cabinets. That's more than any Japanese arcade I've ever been in. I used to live in Japan. 32 cabinets. I mean, this is like, Evo having 3 head-to-head cabinets would be a huge deal. Like at Evos where we've had 2 cabinets, that's been like, oh my god, we've got 2 cabinets. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're big balling. Yeah, big balling.
32 cabinets. I mean, Jesus Christ, right? So this is really, I think, is going to be an awesome stream to watch. And I think what I want to do with Riz here is, well, we want to do some fun bracket predictions, but also I think a lot of the US players don't know who some of these Euro players are. And I think it's really worth going over the big names, kind of giving an introduction of who they are, and just sort of letting you know who to watch out for, because there are some really, really good players in Europe. Right, Riz0ne? I mean, this is not, it's funny, like 15 years ago, Europe was not on the map. There was America, US, and there was
America
Japan.
And US, for sure.
That's it. That's it.
There was America, there was US, there was New York, there was
New York and California, right? I mean, that was it. New York and California, and Europe has just leveled up at a just incredible rate. They're basically on their 2nd or 3rd generation now. So their earliest generation started playing when Wolmar came to EVO. He was basically the first, I think, breakout. I mean, there've been like UK players before at EVOs. I don't mean to minimize guys like Chaos Flare and Professor Jones from France. So there was a presence. It's wrong of me to say that Europe was like not on the map. They were on the map, but there was like a couple players here and there. But basically what started was in, I think, EVO, was it 2008? Tournament of Legends 2. Was it 2008?
No way, bro. It was way after 2008. I was like 2014 for TOL2.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
Because TOL1 was like 2010, bro.
And then 2012. Then it was.
Sorry, no. 2012 was TOL1. My bad. Yo, thanks for the bits. Oh shit, I gotta.
So Wolmar. Okay, all right. Is it really 2014? But okay, then Wolmar. So Wolmar came in 2014, maybe 2013, to TOL2.
Well, he came to TOL1.
Oh, was that the one where they were filming? Was that TOL1?
Yeah, let's rewind this a little bit. Let me clean up the lore a little bit.
Okay.
Alright, so Tournament of Legends 1, right? As Zass mentioned, was kind of like the first breakout of, European player competing in ST on those kind of stakes in a US tournament.
Yeah.
And
this is the one where he famously played Mars twice, right?
Yes. So I'll do a quick rundown. My bad if I'm a little quiet. Let me know if the rest of the audio is good, minus the game.
My audio guys in chat, is mine okay?
Yeah, the game audio doesn't matter. The game audio is muted. So, all right. So this tournament, TOL had 32 players. There were actually qualifiers. There were invites, and the qualifiers were all over the country. There were invites. Let me load up another game. I saw Feilong is done there. There were invites, and then there was one fan vote, and Damdai actually won the fan vote, so he didn't even need to qualify. Like, he didn't need to enter anything. Funny enough. And then
wait, who didn't enter anything?
No, Damdai still entered stuff, but he already qualified. He got the fan vote, because I remember he goes, "Oh, vote," It's like, "Oh, can you vote for me? Can you do the fan vote?" And I was just like, "Bro, I don't have internet, but I voted for him." I forgot what the polling situation was like. All right, anyway, moving on.
Okay.
So So some of the players that were invited were Tokido, Sako, Daigo, Shirts, if I recall correctly.
Yes, Shirts,
right?
Jason Carreras, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then finally there were 8 last chance qualifiers, and those were determined by 4 LCQ tournaments where the top 2 would advance. But the funny story is that they didn't actually finish all the tournaments. They just got to like the top 2 or like whatever. It just wasn't even enough time. Just kind of kept it moving.
Right. Yeah. Typical Evo time management.
Right. So now with Walmart coming in, and we talked about this in Mars's Super Lore Boys episode, it was pretty significant because this was like the first time where someone from Europe again competed on this stage, and he had a pretty good showing. Closed it out at 9th place, and that would be
just to jump in there. I want to be really fair to the like UK players, like players like Reco, had competed in previous Evos, right? And they had done well, so it wasn't the first time a Euro player came, but it was, I think, at least to me, it was that he came with a camera crew, right, to film a documentary.
Yes, so there's a documentary up. I don't know the name of it, but it's up on YouTube if you guys want to. Yeah. It's like Tournament of Legends, but in French. It's like
exactly. Yeah. It's called Le Tournoi des Légendes, which is literally the Tournament of Legends. Yeah. You can watch it on YouTube. It's a great documentary. They've got interviews with lots of American players. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, Riz. Go, please continue.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of going real deep on this one, but no, the point that I wanted to make is that, like, yes, in the past, we've had a lot of European players, people that were just in the FGC, but I think Tournament of Legends was kind of like the first big one where everyone brought their A game. I mean, that top 8. Yeah. That top 8 was insane, right? Like,
that's right.
Because Mao, Kusamundo, Daigo, Tokido, Sako, those are some of the players that were in that.
Hey, quick shot. I see DC Man's in the chat. DC Man, an awesome French streamer who's been instrumental in like bringing weekly tournaments. Salut DC Man, Cami player, great guy. Great to have you in chat, DC Man.
What's up, DC Man? And what's up, Yables and everyone else in the chat? What's up, Base, Squeebird, Eric Turbo, X Gamers? But
it was that top 8 was just super high quality, and the impact this had on the French scene. Salut Sam, great to see some of the French guys here. The impact this had on the French scene cannot be understated, because this the guy that made this documentary is a guy named, I think, Terry Bogard. This is handle, French guys, correct me if I'm wrong. And having that documentary
Ken Bogard. Did you say Terry? Terry is Ken Bogard, right?
Oh, Ken Bogard. Thank you. Yeah, Ken Bogard. Sorry, you're keeping it real there. And I cannot overstate the importance this documentary had, because it brought ST to a whole generation of gamers that didn't know it existed. And so, if you want to call Wolmar was generation 1, right? Wolmar, old Samir. These guys that were like the kind of first generation of ST players.
You mean like from the French scene? Because
from the French scene.
Because we know there was Rico, there was Chunkus.
Exactly.
There were a lot of guys in the UK that Brian Hart.
Let me call those guys Gen Zero. Like, so I used to live in France, and I used to play ST with guys there, but none of those guys are active anymore. It was like a small scene, like 4 or 5 guys, right? It was like 4 or 5 hobby players. It wasn't like Evo level. Good people that had potential, but they weren't taking it like seriously. Then you have like Gen 1, which is like Walmart, where it's like, okay, these guys are good. They're serious. Yeah. And then this video inspires a whole new generation of players in Europe, and especially France, because it was a French video, that now you've got these kids that see this and they're like, well, hell, I want to play this too. And now you've just got this massive scene in France. Massive, that's bigger than the US scene in terms of raw numbers. And it's crazy how many players there are in France. Maybe DC Man and Just Sam can, tell me who's Gen 2. Like, I don't know, is Zaggy, is he Gen 2 or Gen 1? But you've got now, it's so big that individual French cities now have like scenes that are bigger than like some countries. It'll be like Paris versus Lille versus, Lyon. Like, they all have their own scenes, and there are scenes with like dozens of players, and they're like all top tier. It's crazy how big this game has become in France now.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I wanted to say before we start looking into this bracket is like, the European scene, or the French scene in particular, are very strong at many fighting games, right? Like, if you go on YouTube and look up old videos, you had like Boss traveling for CVS2 in France, and they had many strong players. Same thing happened for Third Strike. What other games were there? I can't think of all of them right now, but like, France has been particularly strong at these fighting games for a very long time. And they might be like, I guess what New York is in the United States, or California is in the United States. France is what that is in Europe, right? For the most part, like, they're the strongest of their scene. But it's not the first time. It's just Tournament of Legends, kind of was like the gates opening, I guess. And if you remember that season of The Walking Dead where they're like, oh yeah, your world is about to get a whole lot bigger or whatever, it's kind of like it was kind of like that, where we thought we knew everyone in the ST world, and then France kind of comes through, and
to give a sense of population, France has about double the population of California. So think of California, how many like great ST players there are there, double that, and then like increased the popularity. So it's they're all, it's kind of like Japan in size, right? So they're close enough. The French players are close enough to each other and numerous enough that they have like great ping with each other. They get really, really good quality matches, and they have tons and tons of like big tournaments inside France in different cities that people can travel to. So it's in fact it's better than the US, because the US, we're so spread out. We have to fly to see each other, to play each other. It's like a big deal. They can just kind of like, it's a lot easier. It's a lot closer. It's all the same time zone. You can take a train for like an hour or something. So that's led to, I think, kind of like a really good breeding ground for talent.
Yeah. And sorry, last thing that I wanted to say is that the French SC players, they play all the characters that beat my character. So I'll probably never go to France. But no, I'm just kidding. All right, let's go ahead.
Yeah, they've got an army of Honda players, a ridiculous army of Honda players. So I think what would be fun to do, Riz, is let's go over kind of who each player is, and then kind of who like the just the big names are, right? Well, there's a lot. Maybe we don't go over every single player because we'll be here all night. But let's. So Yoga Boy, I think, needs no introduction. Really key Spanish player in the community who's done so much to get data and information and YouTube and stuff like that. And Daleks is, I believe, I want to say, is a Zangief.
Zangief.
Is he a Zangief player?
Zangief.
The winner of that is going to go up against one of my favorites to win the whole tournament. For those who don't know who Zaggy is, he is generally the number one player on Fightcade. In fact, let's pull up the Fightcade rankings and see if he's number one.
I think it's Hokuto now. I think Hokuto.
Is it Hokuto?
Yeah. I think so.
Let's see. It's the rankings right. Nope, he's not. Hokuto's number 2. Zaggy's number 1.
Yeah, the lore. Right, good stuff.
Yeah. And Zaggy is a really. So I'm hoping maybe one of the French guys can jump me. I don't know when he started playing, so I don't know if he started playing around the time of Wolmar, or if he's like, which I call like Gen 1, or if he's like Gen 2. He's from Paris. He's a really, really good. Obviously, he can't be number 1 on Fightcade without being really good, but he's a Chun-Li player that I think has a fascinating style that's a very controlling style. So he doesn't push a ton of buttons. He's happy to wait. He's basically a very reactive. And if you watch him play, it's fascinating. He makes his opponents just look like, dude, do you suck or what? Like he sort of like, he ends up playing like top level like Ryu players, and they end up sort of just DPing air out of desperation, just trying to do something, as he just anti-airs everything and supers everything. He's got a complete mastery of the normal moves and the spacing that turns. And really, I've learned a lot from him. I used to think that Chun-Li's sort of like big weakness was anti-air and defense in general. And he has shown that with the correct usage of normals, she's got one of the best defenses in the game. And so he's got a really good strategy where he will win a lot of his games by timeout. He plays extremely safe. He's not afraid to just like run out the clock, sort of Justin Wong style. And with the ability to anti-air anything the opponent does, it just shuts down the opponent's options. He's a really, really interesting player to watch. And extremely, extremely skilled.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about Zagi, well, I'll say two things about Zagi, and then we can move to the next portion of the bracket. But Zagi has, at Kakerugo, like, OCV'd a team before. So he's won 5-0 against Japanese players.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Who was on that team?
I don't know, but they were good players. And I think he was on a team with Vega even. Like, I think Zagi team, I forget, but I know that he's had OCVs there. So, like, he's absolutely world class. And, you know, like you said, he utilizes all the Chun buttons. Now, on the flip side of things, I think there are a few people in Europe that will give him a run for his money. Someone
for sure
already mentioned in the chat.
Yeah.
Gold Card Jack is one of them, because Chun Gal is actually like a pretty even match. And then the other one is we talked about on our Discord recently.
Unfortunately, Golkar is not making it this. He unfortunately couldn't make it at the last minute, so it's really too bad.
And then
Golkar, yeah.
And then the second person would be Kazel, who is in the bracket.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's because of the Hawk. Now, Hawk for me is the worst character in the game. Absolute worst character. You can say what you want about Cammy, but I think Hawk is worse. And change my mind if you guys want, but you know, it's because Zagi's felt like the match is just such a scramble. He doesn't have enough experience, so that could be the bracket upsetter.
I want to ask the French players in the chat, when did Zagi start playing? Deciman, Jussam, Ex-Gamer, nous dire quand est-ce que Zagi a commencé le jeu de 2X? Est-ce que c'était en même temps que Walmart? Après Walmart, ce serait bien de savoir pour le gars. I just asked them if they can tell us when.
Oh, I know exactly what you said. Come on, guy. ST is a universal language.
Yeah.
All right. So, up next, while they answer that one, we got my boy Professor Jones.
Yes, Professor Jones. This guy, big special place in my heart because he is the reason I started playing Dictator. When I saw him play, I was like, my God, I want to play Dictator like this guy. So he's one of my favorite players. Really, really old school. Dick player, awesome. So he's from like the time of Reco, you know, that kind of thing. In fact, I think there's one of the first Euro YouTube videos is Reco versus Professor Jones for some championship. Maybe maybe Yoga Boy knows, but there's some big Euro tournament where it was Reco versus Prof Jones, and Prof Jones ends up winning it. And I remember seeing that and be like, okay, I want to play Dictator like this guy.
I'll give you some lore too. In the early, like maybe before 2010, so well over a decade ago, I have email exchanges from Professor Jones. We're talking about how to hit short roundhouse, how to punish Honda's headbutt. Like I don't know how we got each other to email, maybe on GGPO,
awesome.
and we used to talk about random Dictator tech. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna need you to tell me how to do short roundhouse because I still can't do that.
There's two ways of doing it. But we can save that for another stream.
Okay, for another one. Okay.
But I'm glad to see Professor Jones in this. I've also seen he's a little bit like active on one of the French Alpha 3 Discords. So yeah, it's good to see Professor Jones back because he was on a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, it's sort of been in and out. You know, he's go home, be a family man. He's an OGs, you can't play as much as the young guns. So,
and then going up against Duke, not familiar with Duke.
I don't know who Duke is. And there's some folks that we don't know. And that just shows how big and rich the European scene is. They've got a ton of players that can come out that we may not know as well. I haven't seen Duke in the French Weekly, so I don't know who he is. Next, however, the man needs no introduction. Poff is the man who has brought us all the way to play this game online. He's really, he's the main developer, one of the two main developers of Fightcade. Fantastic boxer player from Barcelona. And You know, he's a great coder, great developer. His opponent, I don't know who it is. And what I'd like to do is this first block, right? If you can zoom in, I don't know, on that first very top, basically I want to look at sort of, you know, the winner round, up to that group that goes up to winner round 3. To me, I think Zagi is the predicted person that will end up of that sort of round 3 block.
All right, so up here, so up here looking like, yeah.
Zagi would be my choice. I think any betting man would probably put him there.
All right.
Although, you know, Poff and Professor Jones absolutely have the possibility of giving him a chance.
Don't count on my boy Yoga Boy.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let's move into the next quadrant then. So from letter, we'll just go like D through F. So like this little chunk here.
So we've got Just Sam who's in the chat. Just Sam, I believe,
Bipson.
Do you play Boxer, Just Sam?
Bipson.
I'm sorry. Oh, Bipson. Okay. Bipson. And Galavar, I think Galavar, is he a Dulcim player?
I thought Claw, but I might be wrong. I mean, this just shows you, I do watch the French streams when I can.
Yeah. And they're going to come up. Now, this is one of I'm really glad to see a U.S. representative, Mega Man, come up here. Mega Man, I think he's super well known in the U.S., but maybe the Euros don't know him as well. I'd say there's 2 top Zangief players in the U.S., Cigar Bob, Mega Man.
And you forgot Vodka.
Oh, you're right, Vodka. Yeah. So 3. So he's maybe, let's say, the trio. There's 3 big Zangief players, and Mega Man has won. Didn't he win a Monday Night Turbo, or he did really well in one of the.
So Mega Man won.
Right?
The Mega Man won a qualifier for one of the Mascherino Cups recently. He got 4th place at Evo. You know, he usually falls a little bit short on the Brooklyn monthlies against Super V, so that's kind of been his kryptonite. You know, I took a look at this bracket a little bit earlier. I gave Mega Man a call. We talked about the bracket, and I was like, look, man, you have a tough path. Like, you know, Just Sam might be a good fight because, you know, he fights Dictator a lot. Like, he got to play quite a bit. But then, you know, once you go up to here, you have Hour, you got Ches Nelson, and you got Tuakak, right? He plays Dawson.
Yeah, Tuakak would be very rough to face. Let me. So Hour is a Geef player.
Yeah.
Who's also a streamer. He streams some of the weeklies. Shay Nelson is, oh my God, I've seen him in the weeklies. I don't remember who he plays, but he's absolutely like a regular, a talented player in the weeklies. And Tuakak is one of the top Dulcims in France. I'd say there's like Wolmar. Wolmar has sort of like been the king of Dulcim in France for a really long time. And I'd say Tuakak is like kind of coming up there. Tuakak did really well. I forget, they have like weeklies, but they also have these like Euro championships, or they've got so many tournaments, I kind of forget what they are. But Tuakak did like really, really well in one of them. And so I think he's really like leveled up his sim game. And man, Tuakak versus Mega Man, those are my 2 favorites, you know, for meeting each other in round 3.
Yeah.
Who's the winner going to be? If between those 2, man, I have to predict. I'm just going to have just matchup alone. I'm going to have to predict Tuakak, but man, Mega Man is the Geef that has the possibility to just, you know, he's a wild card. He can beat anybody, absolutely anybody.
Now, actually, this brought up a really important thing that we should share as far as format. This tournament is 2 out of 3 all the way.
Yeah,
so
whole way, even the grand finals.
So even the grand finals. So there's no 3 out of 5, which means that your character can, you know, you have the miracle now. Because you only need to win 2. You don't need to win 3. Now,
you know, that's a good point. So basically what you're saying, Riz, is this helps underdog matches, right? Because you can just bust out of nowhere a win and not get ground down by like a tough matchup. Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah.
And the second thing that I wanted to add, so this is, you know, when I jumped on the call with Mega Man before his flight today, I was like, look, like you're going to have one big advantage, and that is the element of surprise. Because while Euro does have Zangief, they don't have Mega Man, you know. That's right. So, yeah, you know, and let me just say, you know, I'm no like great player or anything, but I have always believed that I can beat the shit out of any Zangief with Chun-Li.
back in the day, like, I at an Evo, I took like third in one team tournament, and I beat all these Zangief players. And so just mentally, I was like, how bad can Zangief be? And I got thrashed. When I first time I played Mega Man, I'm like, okay, how scary can Zangief be? I got thrashed 10-0 by Mega Man, and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I had to really reevaluate my, the matchup and what Zangief can do. So just putting, France, I'm warning you, je vous préviens, Mega Man, c'est pas du n'importe quoi.
No, let them find out the hard way. Let them find out the hard way. And let me give a shout out to Polar Bear in the chat as well. So yes, so both Poff and Shine, the developers of Fightcade, are both very, very strong SD players. In fact, there would be no Fightcade, if it weren't for ST, because
absolutely
that was the whole point. It was like, all right, how do we get ST online, And
yeah, absolutely.
so a little bit of lore out there as well. All right, moving down
all right,
to.
So let's go down to Xylo and Septa here. So Septa, I'm not familiar with, but Xylo is he's one of the streamers. He plays a really good boxer. So I'd say there's like Xylo is a fantastic boxer. He's, I'd say, the level maybe just below the very top tier. They say the top tier boxers in Europe are probably Bazooka and his brother Abdel.
Yeah. Easy.
They're like the highest tier, and Xylo is like right below that.
Yeah.
So he's done extremely well in weeklies. He doesn't quite end up like making it to the very top. He may lose to like someone like Bazooka in those weeklies, but he's absolutely a formidable player. And not to be underestimated. I don't know anything about his opponent Septa. He's a new one to me.
Yeah, and then Bazooka we already spoke about. Also one of the biggest faces of the French, like online stream.
And it's interesting. Bazooka, he's way more active than his brother Abdel. As far as I can tell, Abdel, he does play online. I see him more in like big tournaments, but Bazooka is really big in streaming. He streams other games, he plays weekly, and he's got a lot of good boxer tech. He's got this cool tech that I'd never seen before, where he does basically like a cross under super when people jump over him. So he'll do like a dash upper and then move the stick back the other way and he'll autocorrect a backwards super to get people that are doing overheads. I'd never seen that before. I was like, oh my God, that's really good.
That's the superstar special.
Yeah.
The superstar boxer. But I can see Bazooka kind of at least getting to this round 3 point against.
Yeah.
Who would he fight? He traveled to New York recently, right?
Yeah, I don't know either W or Wifgit. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know who either of those people are.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I do know.
This looks like someone just messed up on the keyboard.
Yeah.
It's a cat. The cat signed up.
I can say, so Soon is a player who's part of the like French, they call it the administration. So they're the people that like, they're like so organized in France. They have like a team that like organizes, all the tournaments and all that stuff like that. The Discord, the admins, I guess. And Soon is probably the top claw player in France. It's either him or Isimorn. He's just a really, really, really good claw player. He's won tons of weeklies. And I think he and Bazooka are absolutely at that high level.
Well, Isimorn got like 4th or 5th place at the mix-up. I'd say Isimorn is definitely his strongest claw for Europe.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
okay, so. Good to know. I think I just haven't seen I see Soon in a lot of the weeklies, so I'm more familiar with him. And Isimorn I've like heard of, but Isimorn doesn't seem to participate as much in the weeklies, so maybe I just
Isimorn is like heavy TO mode, right? I mean, he's the one that. If you guys want to see what's going on with the custom arcade cabinets that they've been, building, like I'm pretty sure he's documenting all of it on the side, so you guys can take a look. But when Isimorn is not doing TO duties, he's wall diving people all day. So just FYI for everybody.
So let's see. That gives us so I think we'll likely in round 3 we'll see Soon versus Bazooka would be my guess.
Yeah.
And hard to call a winner there, but we can fantasy football that if we want. But I think that's where my money would be on that.
Alright.
That block.
Next one, one of my heroes here, Cazell. But
Yeah. So Al and Andrade, I don't know either of them, but Cazell is just like you. He's my sort of like secret pick to win the whole thing. This guy is maybe what I call like a Gen 3 player. He's really young. I want to say he's like, is he 21, 22? And he has just got a monstrous DJ and a monstrous hawk, old hawk. He does all the stuff, all the terrifying Sako DP install, dead in the corner that's just terrifying to play again. As DJ, he's got like the Afro Legends, combos of hell, ridiculous corner pressure, just fantastic execution. I think he took second. There's a really big tournament in France like 2 weeks ago.
yeah, the mix-up.
Yeah, the mix-up that he took second place in,
Yeah,
I think.
But Banshee-Bot took that
But,
one.
and,
Right?
it was down to the, it was down to the pixel. It was really, really close. I've seen Zagi versus, in fact, when you were talking about, the Chun-Li matchup in Hawk, I think Zagi has said, like, how terrifying Cazell's Hawk is. And it's great, and Hawk is a fantastic complement to DJ. Is that if you think about it, if you're not playing one character, if you're counterpicking, Hawk covers all the holes. I think that if you can even say that DJ has any holes, but he just, like, for example, Chun-Li, right? I'd say Chun-Li has a definite advantage over DJ, and then Hawk just comes in and I feel like Hawk actually has advantage over Chun-Li.
Well, of course, as a Chun player, you might say something like that. But we keep it real on Twitch.tv/Riz0ne, and hold that. But anyway, I think Cazell is one of the dark horses that can definitely disrupt the bracket. We're on a good day.
He's not a dark horse anymore. He is a horse. I mean, he's well known now. He's got a lot of wins under his belt.
Yeah, well, so Zagi is the goat, but Cazell's a horse. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. The goat and the horse. I like that. Maybe some emojis on that. And below we've got Zygmunt. I should know who Zygmunt is. I've seen his name.
DJ, no? I think.
Is that right? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And I don't know his opponent, Licky Minaj. That's hilarious. Okay, new generation DJ for Zygmunt versus EVD. EVD is an awesome Ken player. His name stands for Evil Dandon, which means like evil turkey. A really funny guy. He's
so
very
we got
flashy.
The goat. We got the goat. We got the horse.
Yeah,
and now we got the turkey.
And the horse, right? So, and EVD, he's a super flashy, super technical. He's got like the right balance of just like he styles. He makes his wins look cool, but he like does it with the correct execution too. So he doesn't like flub. He's really fun to watch. Like. He's got just like comebacks where it's like, he's being zoned out the whole game, and then he gets like that one knockdown, and it's the Aniken style, like Terror Vortex mix up with a flashy combo at the end. Fun little lore about EVD. He used to go by just written out the name Evil Dando. By the way, hi Asunaro, ça va? Asunaro, awesome Blanca, good to see you in the chat, man. And EVD, so he used to go by the name Evil Dandon, and then he changed it to EVD, and I asked him, like, hey, how come you changed it to EVD? And he said, well, he thought, he was inspired by DGV, who's got like the 3 big letters, and like, man, DGV sounds so cool. So I was like, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna get like 3 letters like DGV. So now
I tell everybody that. Look at Mao, MAO, and then then in CVS2, you got one of the craziest players, Gao, GAO, and it's just all 3-letter caps. And I've been telling players, if you want to level up, then you got Claw, ARG. I was like, yo, if you guys want to level up,
right.
you need a 3-letter all caps name. So EVD, that's definitely, a flex. That's a flex right there.
And so I think there's a good chance we'll end up with Cazell versus EVD in that 3rd round. That's my pick and who wins, we'll see there.
Yeah.
All right, next, so we've got one of the old, in J, we've got Chaos Flair's probably the most OG of the OG British players, like him and Rekko. Believe he's a Ryu player.
Nah, let me tell you the lore on him. This is my boy. We go way back too.
Okay.
And he's a sick Gal player. Man, at one point, like, so we actually played in Japan together, as well, and during that trip, man, when he was just watching what the other gals were doing against me, he started implementing it. I'm like, yo, he freaking leveled up. Now the thing with Chaos Flare, he doesn't play the game often.
Wait, so did you say he's a Guile player?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, he's a Gal main, but he could play other characters just on the side.
Okay.
Like, he could play Ken and do short super, but Gal is his main character.
Yeah.
He did a Ken Monomichi at GameSpot versus against I can't remember which Ryu, but it was a good set. I think it was like 10-6 Ryu. But yeah, he's a hell of a player. He's you know buddies with Orf, so that's kind of their crew out from the UK.
Okay.
It's a very like small scene, and they don't put in as much time as a lot of the other Euro players. So I'm very surprised to see them. Maybe they're just making it a vacation, like, you know what, let's just go out to Lyon, play a couple games, and hang out. But I'm hoping he's warmed up, because if he wins his first match, his opponent is Marvel vs. Capcom Turbo.
Oh man, yeah. And I think we got to give an intro for the Euros that don't know who Yito is, man. Yito is a Dhalsim who plays unlike any other Dhalsim in the world. He like you said, it's like I think he's playing Magneto that's just reskinned as Dhalsim when I see him playing.
That's funny.
He's insane, and I think he's the most entertaining Dhalsim to watch. He's the complete opposite of the Giant or Wolmar style kind of control. He's super aggressive. He's pushing buttons all the time, and playing against him, man, it's like I was telling Zagi, it's like you have 2 chances to push a button in the round against Yito. So you better make the most of your 2 chances, because you are basically going to be in perpetual block stun.
Yeah, let me give you guys some advice for anyone who hasn't fought Yito before. There's 2 ways to deal with it. I'm going to tell you the not good way. The not good way is try to like just be patient and react. It's too hard. It's like it's already hard enough to like just react to drill and punish.
Yeah.
Unless you're Honda and you can just kind of headbutt or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, that's one way, but that's not the way that I would really recommend for most of your character. The other way to really deal with them is you gotta you gotta be even more aggressive. You can't let him get the momentum, because Dhalsim can kind of do whatever he wants, but when he's losing, and he starts like turtling and playing lame, and you're already like agitated because you're expecting him to continue playing aggressive.
Yeah.
Dhalsim can pretty much make a comeback at any time. He has very high stun potential. Just throw, loop, mix up, good anti-airs.
Yeah.
One of the best supers in the game. So for me, the strategy to beating Ito is I got to be more aggressive than him. I can't give him a chance to let him get comfortable. So
you're right. That's a great point. I recently played a set with him, and I only won maybe like 2 or 3 games out of a really long set. And when I did win, it was only because I somehow got to like get aggressive. But I tried. Okay, I'm gonna react to this. I'm gonna like jab his drill and do that. You just end up eating 3 blocked supers. You're like dying on chip. It's like you cannot. You can't. At least I'm not able to play patiently. I'm actually really hoping that Yito will end up playing Zagi, because I want to see. To me, Zagi is the best Chun-Li at being patient and reactive, and I want to take notes. Like, okay, how do you beat Yito? I don't know. I need help.
Well, if Izzy Morin is listening, hopefully he can set up some kind of exhibitions.
That'd be awesome. Now below we have Tuco and Anu versus Skilo and Kolux, and I don't know any of these players at all. So I'm just going to say, to me, Yito is my pick to end up in, stage 3 there.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, because I think, again, like Chaos Flare, amazing player, but Gal Dhalsim it's such a struggle that like...
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, it's a huge struggle, and then, again, like, Chaos Flare...
Now remember, Mars versus Wolmar. Mars pulled it out.
Well, Mars ascended to, like, the 7th dimension.
Shin, he's Shin Mars now, right?
Gotti,
In fact, didn't we have, I think you were hosting on one of your streams, maybe like last year, there was an exhibition between Mars and Wolmar. And I remember Mars finishing it and winning it with his beautiful like jump, fierce, low, strong super. I was like,
That might have
what?
happened. They used to fight a lot like 2 years ago. Like Mars would just wake up and he would fight Walmart like FT10, FT20. It was kind of like almost a daily thing.
Yeah.
Because they became sort of like rivals, and
Yeah.
Mars isn't like the way that we play SC is different from the way that Mars plays SC. It's a little bit of a tangent, but Mars plays to challenge himself. He wants the hardest matchup. He wants the toughest players. Like he doesn't. His challenge is against himself because he's like, yo, can I do it? Like he doesn't. It doesn't matter who he's fighting. He just wants that tough match, and he wants to overcome it. And I don't know anyone else who plays the game like that.
Yeah. In the chat, I'm playing the when I first played Mars at Evo, he was like, I must have played him. This is when I was playing Dictator back in the day. Man, I must have played him like 20 games. I don't think I won a single game. And like, if I'd win a round, he'd be like, oh, godlike. And then it's like, you're getting waxed 20-0, and he's like, you're so godlike.
Yo, short super, God bless. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
By the way, little Mars lore, I have never laughed so hard in my life as when Mars told me at Evo that he was like getting up in a certain player's face. I don't want to name that player, but a certain player's face, and just seeing like how close he could get. Like we'd like bring like an inch, like he'd get like half an inch closer every round to see like how close he could get. Oh my god, I could not stop. I was like, I was laughing so hard I couldn't even breathe. And that happens. It's just fucking hilarious.
Mars is the GOAT. Hell of a, not just SC, but hell of a Street Fighter player.
Really great. Like a really inspirational, like way to play. Just trying to do the hardest things. All right, so in M we've got Nashka, who I don't know, versus DC Man, who we were talking about earlier. DC Man, awesome. He's a really like up and coming name that started streaming a couple years ago, doing hosting the weeklies. He's a Cami player, and fun fact, he helped me with a color pack. I was really big into like making this tool to like edit colors, and he made some Cami colors. So he's a great player to watch out for, and coming up against, I want to say, the best Honda in Europe. Can I say that? I'm gonna get.
Oh yeah. No,
defend some other Hondas, but
no, there's so many times where I'm like, oh, that's a Millennia special, and also from the chat, Nashka's Kazel's big sister. I might have seen. Have seen on the stream.
Okay.
I know that there was no. It was a different player. Her name started with an F, I think. But I don't know. Maybe she's in the bracket later. But yeah, that's cool that you got the siblings also entering the tournament too.
Very cool. Great to see more women in this game. That's like basically all guys. So that's awesome to see. I'm just gonna have to Melania. Well, the first time I saw him was in that I think was it X-Mania France for 2014 maybe. There's a big X-Mania tournament. I went there with Damdai and NKI, and I was like, I was with my wife, and we're like, hey, there's somebody here that looks like Link from the video game Zelda. And it's like, it was Link. It was like Link, even like down to like green, dressed in green. And it's like, man, he was really young at the time. He looked maybe like 16 or something. And it's like this, like Link playing the most devastating Honda I've ever seen ever. And I was like, what the hell? And this is sort of when it clicked. When I saw Melania, this is what clicked for me. I was like, oh my God, these guys are really good.
Yeah,
these guys are really good. He was the first time I was seeing a Honda. I'd never seen anyone in the US play Honda like in such a terrifying manner. So it was sort of like, to me, that it was like an awakening moment of like, okay, like shit, we're seeing like a scary generation come up here.
Which is great. I mean, that means that the game's literally never gonna die. There's always gonna be
Yeah.
new players
Yeah.
jumping in there and
And I
contest,
want to say,
making it competitive against everybody else. So
I want to say he's the first of like, there's this horde of European Honda players, and I want to say he's like the grand Yokozuna of that horde. But this is why you never want to move to Europe and play Bipson, because you're just gonna run into
when I
army.
next year when I go to XSB, I'm just there to do Super Lord Boys
Yeah.
podcasts and
Yeah.
commentate. Yeah. Give me a mic.
Yeah.
Give me a mic. Don't let me play. But
Below we've got Kareem and Dr. 16 Bits. I don't know who Dr. 16 Bits is, but Kareem is, I think, a player from Holland.
Yes.
And do you know what character he plays?
Yes. Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
but-
Let me tell you the Kareem lore. But first of all, if Kareem was going up against Dr. Pepper, it would have been over. Dr. Pepper would fight Donyan. But anyway, so Kareem is a Dutch Blanca player. And at one of the X-Manias, when they did the Kumites after the tournament, Kurahashi was on a pretty long win streak, and took him down. It was Kareem. So I always remember that.
Really? He beat Kurahashi?
Yeah, with Blanca.
Blanca?
And I think with the perfect too, second round.
Really?
So-
Wow. That is extremely impressive.
Yeah.
Kurahashi does not. Kurahashi, just for those, if you've ever played him, Kurahashi will play like 20 hours of casuals, and he will play every single round like it's Evo finals.
Yeah.
He does not give rounds. He doesn't get he's a machine. He's kind of like one of those, like, mentally, like you're saying, like Mars. He is all he wants to do is play and win.
No, he's Ryu. Like, the fight is all, or whatever.
Yeah. I think, isn't it Kurahashi in the Daigo comic that is like the rival?
Well, yeah.
Like the guy that he, like, that they have him is like not eating, not sleeping, not doing anything, but just like playing.
Yep. And that's why, I mean, there was a time where Kurahashi was just like, I don't even play the game anymore. The only reason why I play is so I could beat Kotaka Shoten. Because like Kotaka would beat him over and over. Like they would do these, FT10s and FT5s, and Kotaka would always win final round, final game. And that was the only drive that Kurahashi had left. In fact, one of the X-Manias, one of the X-Manias, they went to the airport to pick up whoever it was, like Kusamundo and someone else, and they were surprised to see Kurahashi there. So Kurahashi flew out on his own dime for that tournament in Europe. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's, just a little bit about...
that must have been the one I was telling you about, that where I saw Melania, because Kurahashi ended up winning that. It was Kurahashi versus Damdai in the finals.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Old Ryu. That's
yeah.
right. Yep.
And I want to give some old school Kurahashi lore. This is super, super old, so only the oldest, maybe there's no one this old, but we used to post on a news group called Alt Games.
I love this story.
and at the time, I think I was the first like Westerner that lived in Japan to play Super Turbo, and there was this guy that I just called the King of ST. I wrote a series of posts about this player. I didn't know who he was, but Kuni had told me, oh, this guy is like one of the best players in Japan. And it was this guy, he ends up being Kurahashi, but I didn't know it at the time. And it was this guy, go to this legendary arcade called More, and every single time I went to this arcade, he was there playing. He played until they closed at midnight. He was there. If I was there in the morning, he was there. And I rarely saw him lose games, and he just played all the time. And in fact, I started copying his style. At the time, I played Boxer, and I started copying this guy that I called the King of ST's style. He did all this amazing stuff that now it's kind of like not that. I mean, we were less educated in those times, right? But it turns out that King of ST, that was Kurahashi. So if you ever we can put those in the chat maybe at some point. But he's a really, really storied player, and just incredible. Like it's all he does,
Well, there was a whole thing on that forum about how he would deal with Dalsim, and it was like, what? He did like neutral jump fierce, whatever.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. That was that post. Yeah, exactly.
I know a little bit of that.
That's
that
awesome.
lore.
I'm glad that got read by somebody.
Yeah.
So back to Kareem. So the next level after Kareem is Don Yan, who Don Yan is also a member of the French administration, and in fact, he has a podcast. I was a guest on his podcast, so he's part of the like French mods or admin group, and he plays Ken as well. So we talked about EVD, who plays Ken. Don Yan is I'd say he's more solid than EV. He doesn't go for the flashy stuff. He plays very, very clean, very solid. And I think when in the weeklies recently, like in the last year or so, he's really leveled up and been up there in those, top 4 placings. So he's a player that I think has like really improved his game and is definitely one of the ones to watch out for.
Yeah.
I think we will probably, I don't know, man, if Kareem can beat Kurahashi, it'll be really interesting to see Kareem versus Don Yan. But I think it will be Melania versus one of those two guys in stage 3.
Yeah, let me add a couple notes to that. So again, Kareem, I don't think is in the prime anymore. Like, I think sometime during the pandemic, hold on. Oh no, that's a good song. But sometime during the pandemic, he kind of just popped in on the server. I saw him on FightGate. I saw him somewhere. And, he's been more active. I see he's been trying out Alpha 2, Vampire, and a couple other games. So I think he's just kind of getting back into it. And if I recall, he's going to this tournament because he's bringing one of his buddies as well. So this is kind of like, all right, let me get back into the tournament. See, now Donyan, you mentioned, not as flashy, but if anyone remembers maybe 2x2, where Donyan did the Jump Fierce Tatsu Stand Strong Crescent Kick combo.
Wow,
so Donyan, so Donyan's got some swag, and Donyan is also, like me, part of the Leather Jacket gang, so
Wait, what's this? What's the Leather Jacket game?
I mean, I rock a leather jacket, and Donyan does too, so he's automatically cool in my book. But
so you're Ken in Street Fighter 6. Okay, all right.
Oh shit! But yeah, Viper's got those too. Vodka's in the Illuminati. You're good. Oh, let me load up another match. By the way, I'm watching some of these matches on the little window. They're kind of dope. A lot of good.
Right on. I'm fixated on the bracket here, like a Mars level fixation. So.
Yeah. All right. And then these my boy Balcork. But yeah, let's go.
Yeah, this is gonna be. This is we're getting, I think, to the S tier of the Euro community here. So there's Juju Max and Guri Gugai, who I don't know either of them, but the winner is gonna have a terrifying match with Balcork, who is right up there with Zaggy in the absolute upper tier. Can we say the best Fei Long outside of Japan? Can we say that?
Yes.
I know they're
easy.
Okay.
Yeah. No question. No. In fact, even in Japan, how'd the story go? Because we had him on Super Lore Boys, but they were like, this dude's Fei Long was surprising a lot of the players in Japan. For me, he's definitely on that level. Like, yeah, there's no question. Like, the dude's a freaking genius. With that character. I mean, even with some of his other characters I've seen it, like Balcork's an all-around great player, but his Fei Long's like, yeah, no question.
And I have this podcast here. I'm just going to be talking about how you've gotten my ass kicked by all these people. But I first met him at I think the first Evo he showed up as, and there was a team tournament, I think, and Balcork was one of the teams. And I'm talking to some of the Seattle players that I went with. There's Axel Kelly. Yeah, Axel Kelly. And I'm like, hey, how are you doing in the tournament? He's like, oh, I lost. I'm like, who'd you lose to? And he's like, French player Balcork. And I'm like, who? What? You lost to a French player? I mean, this is like back when, it was like, didn't know about Euro, right? About like the European players. And he's like, yeah, his Fei Long, it's like killing everyone with Fei Long. And I'm like, what? It's like, I'm like, did I hear it right? You're saying there's a Fei Long player from France who's beating everyone? I was like, no, what? That's not possible. And then I see him play, and I'm like, he's doing, the throw, walk under, stand strong, stand fierce, wreck, supers, and I'm like, what the fuck? What's happening? Am I like in an alternate timeline or something? I got completely waxed playing him, of course. So he's really, really, really good. I think he's generally, we see him in the top 3 of these, these tournaments. I think Zagi has won almost every single one of them, but second or third place is almost always Ballcork.
Well, Ballcork has won one of the 2XS tournaments that we've done, and
Okay.
I guess the other fun fact is when Ballcork, Zagi, and Max31, when they team up, they never lose.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Yeah,
fact,
that's a completely broken team.
I think in that, when they've had that team, like, Zagi doesn't even get to play. It's like they QCV. They QCV everyone else, right?
Well, I'd imagine nobody gets to play. So whoever gets to play is the one that just nets the OCV. It's just seeing those 3 names together. It's just like, it's hopeless. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I'm
hoping someone beats them in the 3v3, but.
So he to me, if we're looking at the ones that are like favored to win, right? So far, there's, for me, that we've gone through, there's Zagi, Kazel, and Ballcork's up there, and that, like, ones I'd put money on winning. Now next we've got below that, unfortunate, and this is really, I'm so sad that Gold Car Jack can't join. I'm gonna pour out like a beer for him. Gold Car Jack is absolutely fantastic Guile player who beat Zagi. What was the last tournament? There was a big tournament in Europe that Gold Car Jack won, and it was him and Zagi in the finals. Do you know which one that was?
I don't, but I know that at 2Exit they did Gold Car ended up winning, and then they did the exhibition against Zagi, and I think he beat Zagi like 5-2. Maybe
that's what it was. Yeah, it was, man. And so, just Gold Car Jack's up there. He rarely plays online. I think he doesn't like online. Doesn't play a lot of the weeklies. But when he does, he's either won or been close to winning. But anyway, I don't know why he wasn't able to make it. He wasn't able to make it. So
yeah, he did win a big tournament just a handful of months ago. Yeah, or a handful of weeks ago even. Yeah. I forget which tournament, but yeah, he got first place, and it was a bracket reset against Dawson.
Against the Dawson, yeah. I would have loved to see Gold Car versus Mars. That would have been a fun one if we could have had that arranged.
Well, Gold Car versus Ito would have been pretty interesting too, I think. But
yeah, it certainly would. Yeah. In fact, Gold Car. Normally that's such a rough match, but with Yiko being so aggressive, and I don't know if Yito has the ability to turn off the aggression. So.
Yeah, it's already on Turbo 12, so
it's on Turbo 12.
Yeah, there's no slowing it down.
So I'm not familiar with Nico, Mr. Ballet, or Flow Moon, so to me it's kind of open there.
Nico plays Ryu, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then Flow Moon is, the other female competitor in this bracket. I think she plays ZJ.
Cool.
Or Ryu. Or Ryu? I don't know. We'll need X Gamers to
got
that. But I can see Ballcork kind of ending up in the round 3 for sure.
Yeah, but it's gonna be Ballcork.
Yeah.
Then, okay, in R we've got Mitsu, who's a player I don't know, versus our representative from the Pacific Northwest. So for those who don't know, I'm in Seattle. James Washington is a Seattle player as well. He plays Ryu and Guile.
James Walton.
Yeah, James Walton. Is James Walton one-on-one on Fightcade, and if he wins, he's going to be playing against Kyukai, who I always get Kyukai confused with Kyuya, our Mexican dictator player, because their names are so similar. But Kyukai is another one of the right up there top level French players. Is he Aero Rockman? I think he's Aero Rockman on Fightcade.
Yes. Yeah.
That's him, right? Yeah. So really, really, really strong Guile player. And that's gonna be, man. That's a tough one. I think it's really hard to say that, to not put Kyukai as the favorite just because of how good Kyukai is. He's really, really good.
Well, we got Dark Slane in the mix, and Dark Slane's motivated right now. Dark Slane, actually, you guys did a stream. I think DC Man ran a stream where it was kind of like crowdfunding exhibitions and.
Okay. Who's Dark Slane play?
Dark Slane's a Ken player from Spain.
Oh, okay, awesome,
Yeah, they
awesome.
call him El Loco Ken, and he also does
Okay.
some. Yeah, he also does some streams himself, and he plays crazy. I mean, they don't call him El Loco Ken for
Yeah,
nothing. But I mean, yeah, Kyukai. Yeah, I can see Kyukai's methodical play kind of, take out a lot of these players. And if I recall,
yeah,
Kuni's also a Ryu player, but
yeah. I'm not. Yeah, so I gotta put Kyukai as my favorite for round 3 there.
yeah.
And now we're coming down. We're gonna come to the next of the S tier levels. Zayrod. Oh, I've seen the name. I forget who he plays, and I don't know 1994. But Max 31, I think, is the. If you look at the top 4 players in France, we said there was Izagi, Balcork. Max 31 is a Cami player who's absolutely incredible. He's usually second place, I think, after Zagi in these XSBs, I think, in general, or these big tournaments like them. But otherwise, I actually am not familiar with any of these other players of the next 4 in U and V. So Green Star, Carl, Infinite Master, and Rokudo. I don't know who they are, but yeah, Max 31 absolutely, I think, ending up in round 3. And absolutely a player to watch out for. In fact, I'm secretly hoping that we'll see Max 31 versus Silent Scope at some point.
I knew you'd say that.
I'd be very curious to see. They both have that really strong combo ability, and just really great knowledge of the character. I don't know how to even evaluate, who'd be the winner of that hypothetical matchup if it were to come up.
Yeah, I'd say one thing about the Max and Scope conversation, because anytime you see Silent Scope on stream, there's always someone in the chat that mentions Max. You see Max on stream, there's always someone who mentions Silent Scope. It's like the brotherhood of the Cammy storyline, right?
Okay.
And because of that, it's interesting that you have them both at the same time. Now, Max is a specialist of the game, which Silent Scope was also until CVS2 took his heart.
Yeah, true.
He's, I'm not gonna sugarcoat or anything, but yeah, like ST's, like he still loves ST, but I don't think it's the main game.
It's not his main
for
thing
him anymore,
okay.
Which understandable. Like
yeah,
he still supports it heavy, regardless. But I know that CVS2 is this kind of like new love. Still, I'm very excited to see that we have both of them at the same tournament, and they could meet in bracket, or we could get an exhibition match. Something can happen.
Okay, very cool.
Green Star is Arrow Rockman's brother, Ryu player. Thank you for that, Melania. Yep. All right, what part of the bracket we're up to now?
Okay, so
kind of
we are then next.
Oh, let me see how much we have left. Oh, we're almost done.
Yeah, so is it? Let's see.
We're up to
okay. So
here.
Blackmane MMK. So MMK, I believe. Well, I think he's a Cammy player.
Yeah, Cammy. Cammy.
And Blackmane, I've heard the name, but I don't know who he plays. An ER Commander, I also don't know. So I've heard the name ER Commander, and I've heard the name Blackmane. I know MMK is a Cammy player.
No, ER Commander is the Blanca.
Okay.
Yeah. Like really strong.
Oh, awesome,
really
awesome.
Strong, so.
Okay, Melania's in the chat. Hi, Melania. Good to see you. Don't remember if I was talking about you earlier. I'd met you at that at X-Mania France in Toulouse like many years ago with Damned Eye. I don't know if you remember that, but I was talking about how you impressed me when I first saw you. Then below we have Object, I guess we play. He's a multi-character player. I've seen him play Honda, Chun-Li. I think in the French Discord, the meme with him is like he doesn't even know what the word main means. You know, he plays just like everyone. He doesn't have the concept of like character. You know, I play this character. He just plays the game, so it gives him a ton of diversity and really strong counter pick ability. And I don't know who his opponent Juge is, but I do know who Ricky TTT is. Ricky. Oh, you remember? Awesome, Melanie. Yeah, great to hear that. Ricky is a fantastic Ryu player from Spain. Can I say he's the best Ryu player in Spain? I want to say that.
Well, he might be the best player in Spain.
He is really strong.
Yeah, not
really
best
strong.
Ryu. He is just the best player in Spain.
And I think he picked up the game fairly recently, didn't he? Like I heard that lore.
Yeah, he was a Street Fighter 4 player, and then kind of just got into Super Turbo, so was able to kind of transfer those skills over. So a multi-game player.
Is he the okay? I've seen, maybe the French guys can clarify. I've seen crazy pictures of this arcade in Spain that's just like this ST player's paradise.
Oh, you mean Ricky's Cave?
Is that Ricky? Is that like his house, or is it like an actual business or something? I don't know, but it seems just like you've died and gone to ST heaven.
Yeah, that spot is called Ricky's Cave, and that's where they do the Flying Barcelona tournament, FBT, which the next one is actually coming up pretty soon. I saw 2X
Very cool.
ECN had posted about it, but yeah, Ricky's Cave.
So can someone shed the, is this like a place that's open to the public, or is this just like his place that he's got this
I think
cave
it's a man cave, but I know a lot of the Euro guys went there, so maybe you guys know best.
Yeah, he's got like dozens of cabinets. It's not just like one, like one cabinet, right? It's like a whole. It's like an arcade in Japan. He's got like so. So very dedicated player, very good, really awesome, lot of skills, and I'm looking for. I think
that'll be a good match.
Ricky is my pick to easily be in round 3 there.
Yeah, Ricky Air Commander will be a really good match. That's gonna be a very good match for sure. All right, here we go. So you got your mix-up champ, Banshee Bot, another Blanca.
Yep, and Vile Island, I believe, is a British Cammy player.
Yeah, Cammy.
And I don't know who Frine is, but yeah, Banshee Bot. I don't think U.S. players have heard of him, that much, but he is really, really good. I think I want to say he's the best Blanca in Europe that I've seen, at least. He won the mix-up recently, beating Kazel, and Kazel to me is one of the favorites to win the tournament. So Banshee for me is if we have to do like a fantasy football pick of the top 8, Banshee's in that top 8.
Yeah, now just one downside is Blanca just has a lot of tough matchups. I mean, especially considering how many Hondas there are in Europe.
That's true. But he also beat. I mean, DJ is supposed to be impossible to beat on paper, and he beat the best DJ in Europe, Kazel. So, I mean, Blancas can just pull miracle, and wasn't it Makiri that was saying there's this Blanca player in Japan called Nakamu who's just like beating the crap out of everyone. So I don't know what to believe anymore about tiers in this game. I feel like we've transcended. Look, in France we've got a Cammy player with max 31 and a Fei Long player, and this is like top tier, whereas years ago that would have been considered like joke tier. So. Well, I don't know. I feel like with the skill of these guys, they just have so much ability to dictate the game.
Well, Nakamu, sorry, just to bring him up again real quick. Nakamu's been playing the game for a hot minute. Like my first trip to Japan, Nakamu was already, killing it. And not only is he a Blanca main, but also a very, very, very strong Honda. So he mains 2 characters. And
okay, good to know.
So, he definitely knows how to navigate over fireballs as a Honda player, but then he gets now he gets the mix-up potential with the Blanca, so the characters definitely match him well. And then DX Steve X.
DX Steve X, one of my favorite players from Europe. He's a Swiss player. He plays Boxer. I would put him right. So if that we were talking about Boxer tiers, if like the absolute top tier is Abdel and Bazooka, then I would say we've got Zelo and DX Steve X. that play that are that next level, I think. And I've seen DX Steve X. He's done really well in some of the European weeklies that I've seen. And what I like about DX Steve X is he just plays like really clean. He kind of reminds me, I want to say, of Damdai, not in that character selection at all, but just, the way that Damdai plays, he really simplifies the game down to sort of just like what's the necessary stuff to do, and he doesn't do a lot of crazy stuff. You can see that Damdai's really like narrowed it down to like what are just the most effective things to do, and do that. And I feel like DX Steve plays that way as well. It's a very I don't know, like pure way of playing, I could say, if that makes sense.
I mean, when it's Boxer, I think simplifying is more like, who cares what I'm doing? I'm just doing shit. But a methodical Boxer, I would think like Shiki. Once upon a time when Shiki was playing, that was like about as methodical as it got. Whereas a lot of the other Boxer players in Japan are pretty ham. Shiki had that uniqueness to him, so I'll be excited to see if DX Steve can like implement that kind of play. All right, moving into now so we just finished the whole alphabet. We finished A through Z.
Yeah, we got
all the vitamins in, and now we're at the finish line here. We're gonna start with and end at Al Bundy.
Yeah. So I'm not familiar with Hiken no Gief or Balo, but I'm guessing Hiken no Gief is a Gief player.
Or he never fights Gief players. So if Orf plays Balo plays Gief, he's just in a DQ. He's like, sorry, no Gief.
And Orf is, I want to say he's the best Ryu in Europe.
Orf is like top 3 or top 5 in Euro in general. But the thing is that I mentioned before is Orf is like not nearly as active as as a lot of the players. And for some context, Orf has beaten Matsun in tournament, and in 3 out of 5. I'm not talking about one game. He's beaten Damdai in tournament. At XS, he's beaten Koemon and a Claw player. I forget who. But yeah, he had a pretty good showing in Japan in exhibitions as well. Yeah, Fuda-chan Claw. There you go. Thank you, X Gamers.
Wow. Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Fuda-chan decided to be a Claw main for a while, and because you're in Nagoya and everyone plays Claw, right? But yeah, so Orf has this uncanny ability where he plays very, say, like unorthodox. Like he'll stick out a stand medium kick or a stand medium punch or low forward. It'll just tag you just as you walked, or it's a preemptive anti, or like, and it's kind of frustrating. But he just has like, again, just this kind of like this ability to just press the buttons and make them work. Last thing I'll say about Orf is, when we did the first episode of Super Lore Boys with the Mikiri mentioned that the 2 people, outside of Japan that really helped him level up and understand the game when he was just getting into it was Chaos, Flare, and Orf. So
very cool. Okay.
Yeah. So they're the ones that kind of like really guided him early on.
I feel like if we had Orf and Golkar Jack, in the tournament, no one would be surprised if those 2 were in the top 8 or even in the top 4.
Yeah, for sure. So thought I'd throw that in there about the homie Joe.
So next we've got Giant Steps and Plune. I don't know who Plune is, and I should know Giant Steps. I feel terrible. I don't remember who they play. I'm sure X Gamers will correct me in the chat in a minute. But I can say that I know who Asunaro is, an awesome French up and coming Blanca player who's also an amazing developer. He's been writing scripts that do a training mode in the Fightcade. Giant Steps says Giant Steps is a 5/5. I don't know what that means. But Asunaro's been working on like a bunch of scripts. So he's done like this very cool script that shows what where like Blanca is safe. like setups for Blanca Super to be safe, like really, really detailed stuff. He's made a training mode called Missions that let you practice repeated scenarios over and over again. A lot like what you have in, Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 4, where you can kind of like set up things to do over and over again. So awesome developer and great Blanca player that I'll be looking forward to play, to see play. But I think I have to put Orf as my pick for making it to round 3 from that block.
Quick update from the chat, but Giant Steps, strong Ryu player.
Ryu player, okay. Okay.
Yeah, Asanaru, Orf, Blanca. Man.
Yeah.
So, all right, in Japan, it was AFO. Yeah, we were all playing AFO, and AFO against Orf. I mean, mind you guys, right? 3 letters. Of course, they're already strong players, but yeah, AFO was just smoking fools, and then eventually Orf was starting to catch on and bringing the heat, and it looked crazy. I was just like, it's like the matchup Blanca Ryu is not really good for Blanca.
Right.
But yeah, it was a lot of games, and Orf was, AFO was just killing it, and then Orf like figured it out, and they were pretty much splitting at that point. So
interesting.
Again, this is 2 out of 3, and this is a potentially rusty Orf. So, but yeah, basically, I think if this tournament, or like if Orf had to fight anyone in this tournament and it was like 10 games or 20 games, I think he'd be able to beat everyone. Rusty or not, basically.
Yeah, maybe it's like the silent scope effect, where it's like, like you have to, how much rust is there, or like, one gamedness is there.
Yeah.
So in AC, we've got Ludovictor and Artaban. I don't know either of those players, but I think Europe is going to be introduced to the terror of the North American tournament scene, Hokuto. That I think, to me, Hokuto is on that very, very short list of, picks to win the whole thing. For my French friends in the chat, I really want to warn you that playing Hokuto is oppressive. It is oppressive to play against him. He is not like other claw players where, you kind of do some scrambles and like hope you get a hit in. Hokuto is an incredibly terrifying claw player. I'm just going to put that out there, guys. It is if you get an opening, capitalize on it. You will not get another one. I think Hokuto has won. His win rate on Monday Night Fights is like 95% on them. I mean, like.
Well, we already said he's the #1 ranked Fightcade player. Let's see,
There's Agi. I think he's number 2 right now. If you look at the ranks, he's number 2.
Yeah, number 2. That's right, number 2.
Yeah.
You know what? Who does number 2 work for? But I think Hokuto is definitely a shoe-in for top 8. I mean, no discussions.
Yeah.
To be had. And last thing I'd say about him is during the pandemic, I feel of the strong players, he leveled up the most, right? Because the players that were like, just getting into it, or mid-level, just leveling up, like, it's natural. You're gonna see a growth. But for players that are already strong, it's harder to get stronger. But he was someone who was strong, and he got way stronger during the pandemic era. So
and Hokuto, he's one of those just naturally gifted players. He's good at every game that he plays. Alpha 2, he started playing, he was like top in that. So he's sort of like, the us humans, we have to like work, just to be like okay at this game, and he's just like already good, naturally, and then he works on top of it.
He has a good I guess gaming logic, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. So I think he's the strongest of the non-French contingent.
Yeah, of the non-Euro players, yeah, I think, yeah, for
I
sure.
think the strongest of the non-French. I think if you take everyone who's not French, and put them in a bucket, I think Hokuto's number one, like over Orf and those guys. Uh, that's just my.
I might give, I mean, again, I might give Orf the edge, but Hokuto's been one of the hardest working as well. So
Yeah, yeah,
I can,
and
yeah, he's gonna get very far in this bracket. Um, Sorry for anyone who's in his path, but
yeah, I would, yeah. So, in fact, actually, it'll be very interesting if Marcade ends up in those next four. Marcade is a Spanish, I think from Barcelona Honda player who's, I think when I was saying that we've got the Yokozuna of Honda's Melania, then I think Marcade is like the next general. Very very strong Spanish Honda. You see him all the time in the Spanish weeklies, the French weeklies. Cami Neko, I think, is a Cami player. And other end in Gwenrock, I feel so bad. I should know who these guys are. I've seen their names.
You should have prepared, bro.
I know, man. I should have looked. I should have asked DC Man to give me the cheat sheet. But okay, DC Man, aide-moi mon pote Gwenrock et Odoren, il joue qui? But I think we will end up seeing Marcade versus Hokuto. And that'll be interesting because, Honda does okay against Claw, but man, Hokuto plays X64 all the time, and X64 is probably the best Honda in North America, I want to say. So Hokuto, there's no secrets, I think, for Hokuto,
Yeah, I mean, X64 has brought the heat to Hokuto, and Hokuto's pretty much always clutched it out. I remember the earlier Monday night fightcade that Carl used to do, and that would pretty much be your grand finals. And
always, yeah, X64 versus Hokuto.
Yeah, and it'd always be so close, but Hokuto would end up clutching it out. Yeah. So it will be interesting in an offline setting with, a Honda main. Now the thing with X64, 55 man, it's 55s all night. But one thing about X64 is he plays Boxer and Zangief as well.
Oh, I didn't know he played Geef. I knew he played Boxer, but I didn't know about Geef.
He juggles several characters, so it's kind of hard to, Sorry, Boxer and Jeffrey as well, but mainly Jeff he'll use in like hyper fighting. So I guess in ST in particular, it'll be Boxer Honda that he's juggling between.
Okay.
Both characters that can fight Claw, but he prefers the Honda. It's just there's a difference when you're a single Honda versus I'm a Honda, but I got a pocket,
Right. It's a different mentality.
Right. And so in Marcade, if he's fighting Hokuto, I think he might have the sauce.
Okay. Definitely.
That'll be a very interesting. That'll be a very decisive match for the bracket for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, Honda is one of the less bad matchups for Claw. Claw has no bad matchups, but I guess a really good Honda is maybe one where it's like, poses a real threat.
Well, I mean, Tournament of Legends 1 between Mao and Kusamondo went bracket reset, final round, final game. So this just kind of shows the level at which Honda can take it. Yeah. And also, Honda's an A-tier character. I mean, he has some bad matchups that he's still just below the top tier. So yeah, he can fight Boxer quite well.
I feel there's like two categories of Honda. There's two kinds of Honda. There's the kinds of Honda where if you block one move from Honda, you're dead. And then there's the other Hondas. And it's just like a totally different ball game when you're playing that first kind of Honda that you can't make any mistake, and I think, Melania is one of those Hondas. And, if Marcade is getting up there too, I think that really puts a...
Well, Melania uses like the headbutt to do side switch, cross up setup. Melania does the crazy, the Honda setup. So, but yeah, I mean, either way, Europe, France, they're known for their
Honda army, right?
Well, they're charge characters. They're Hondas, Blankas, and Chuns. But that'll be a very important match if that's what does end up happening.
France ST players are all credit card users. It's all charged.
Yeah, it's all charge. Just swipe.
MasterCard team.
Just swipe. Just swipe.
Yeah, just swipe.
No tap. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the boxer players they tap, but anyway.
So Z, are we at Hopital now?
Yes.
Yeah. So Hopital is another Blanka player, and Ziminowski. I don't know who Ziminowski is, and the winner is going to play Zargot, who's I want to say France's number 2 Chun after Zagi.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. DC Man coming in with a clutch subtitles for me there. Thanks, man. So hope Asanaru student. I did not know that. And then Cami. So yeah, Zargot, he's a really cool guy. He's a purist. He does not play online. He's very, very focused, like kind of like Golkar Jack, doesn't like online, feels like that messes up his timing. Really, really excellent Chun-Li. I think at the mix-up, that was a couple weeks ago, he was like, I want to say fifth place or fourth place.
Yeah, he was up there.
So really, really good. In fact, at that X-Mania that I was saying where I had met Melania, I was in a team with NKI and Damdai, and I played Zargot, and he beat me. Really, really good. Just excellent Chun, just excellent knowledge. I'd say kind of like Zargot, if it wasn't for Zagi, then everyone would be talking about how Zargot is like the greatest Chun player in Europe. And it's just that you've got like Michael Jordan, Zagi there, like right above him.
Yeah, so I mean, Zargot is also a hell of a commentator. He does a lot of commentary for the Euro SC scenes. I know he speaks a couple languages as well.
I think he might be German. He always plays with a German flag too in tournaments. So I don't know if he's like a dual citizen or if he's a German national, but yeah.
And also, I got to give a shout out to Zargot because he loves the retros like Cyberbots and Karnov's Revenge.
Yes.
And there's another one as well. But yeah, Zargot, man of culture. Always love, being able to do commentary with him. Hope he does well at this tournament.
And I just want to shout out what a cool guy he is. When I'd taken like a 10-year break or 15-year break from ST, and I started coming around, in the pandemic, kind of thanks to you and your Discord. And he reached out to me, on the French Discord. He was like, hey, I remember you. Let's have a podcast. He invited me to his podcast. So just super cool guy. Great, at building the community, reaching out. So just awesome human being. Awesome guy.
Awesome guy, but also a Chun player that's going to do really well in this tournament. So
I think so. Yeah. In fact, I'm very much looking forward to his next round opponent. So we've got Tony Abare and Mr. Bennett, and the winner is going to play, I think, the American Cami, Silent Scope.
Yep. Oh, where's the other 8? There's only one 8.
That's right. It's not the real Silent Scope. It's his twin brother, Silent Scope 8. He's only at half power. DC Man coming in with the info. So Mr. Bennett's a dictator, and Toby Maguire is a guile.
No, Toby Maguire.
And the Toby Magabare. So if we see Silent Scope versus Zargot, I think that's going to be a really interesting matchup because I've been playing a lot against the Mexican Cami player. What's his name?
Assassin.
Assassin. And man, it's like you really have to have like very, very strong anti-airs to deal with Cami. Otherwise, she's just all over you. And it'll be interesting to see like how I know that when I've seen Zagi play against Max 31, you can see him just completely shut down Cami with his mastery of the normals, and it'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to be a test of like can Zargot execute? Like on paper, Chun has all the answers, but you screw up once, and you're done.
Yeah, let me add a few thoughts on the Cami Chun matchup. I don't think it's that bad for Cami, to be quite honest. She also has a really good cross-up that it works really well against Chun. Like Shoto cross up is much harder to land on Chun, but Cammy cross up is pretty legit and confirmable.
Yeah.
The super will go through her fireball. Like Cammy actually does have quite a bit of tools to deal with.
And the jump strong is a nightmare. I mean, it's a really, really problematic jumping attack.
Yeah. If Sansko's been labbing, which I hope he has been. I mean, Sansko made the whole Super Turbo tutorial, so there's combos for every character.
He's got combos for days, but I think it's going to be like, can you even get in to do the combo? You know, that's going to be a question.
Yeah, I think Cammy has a chance, a better chance against Chun than most of the cast in the game.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like Hawk. Hawk and Cammy have.
Yeah, they have approaches. Yeah, they have approaches, as well as Guile. Like there are a few characters that can kind of fight Chun, which is why Claw is the definitive number one. Because Claw doesn't have like those negative. Matches or matches that are kind of like debatable. Claw basically wins all the matches. I think that's a really interesting take, and I this is one where I don't know how to call this. If it is those two, I'm going to be very interested in watching, but I can't say I have like a favorite here. I mean, I would want to just go the distance game 3 final round, but I would give the edge to Zargot. Zargot's really consistent. Main this game, but just like Soundscope, he has other games in the back pocket as well. So that'll be. So it looks like round 3, every match that we've been like kind of simulating are all bangers for the most part. So
for sure.
They're all like top 8-ish, like top 8-esque matches.
All
right.
And so who do we have after where are we at?
Kyose.
Okay, Kyose. So I don't know Kyose in LA, but we were just talking about Wolmar, who I think Wolmar is sort of the granddaddy top player in France. Absolutely stellar sim player, and really good other characters too. He plays a very strong Chun-Li as well. Really, just a strong all-around player. And just the power of Dalsum, man. I mean, it's tough to be Wolmar's opponent. Okay, Kyose is a Chun-Li player, and he made the XSB website. Awesome.
More lore for you guys.
Yeah, Wolmar is a player to watch. I don't see him. I see him. I feel like it's funny. He like doesn't even join the weeklies that much, and in my head lore, this is just my head, but I think of him as like Master Uguay in Kung Fu Panda, who's like stepping aside to let newer players develop and flourish instead of like stomping them mercilessly. That's how I think of him. That he's like has the ability to just jump in and win all these tournaments, and he's just like, okay, you guys have some fun, have some glory, and I'll come in.
Wolmar for me is the philosophical. At least my experience, at TOL meeting him. So I think Wolmar does a lot of like observation, but the edge that Wolmar's gonna have is, and it's so funny that these are the two characters on screen right now as well, Honda and Dalsum. So he doesn't only play Dalsum; he'll cover some matchups with the Honda as well. So a combination of those two characters can be pretty lethal. And
I got a small mini lore for Wolmar, and I spoke to Wolmar at Tournament of Legends, and back before like Fightcade, right? Back before like playing online, it was like in the US there was like New York and there was like California, Sunnyvale, and there was always discussions online of like, it was like, if you're not from one of these places that has like a strong local scene, you'll never get good. And people say like, and there'd be arguments on alt games and stuff too of like, well, could you have some like genius that's playing in his mom's basement in Arkansas or something like that? And I was like, no, they'll never. Someone like that can never be top tier because they're not playing with like John Choi and Graham Wolf or Thomas Asaki every day. It's like not possible. Like, and that was a thinking at the time. Is you needed those guys. And there was a group of people, myself included, that was like, no, I don't know. I think like online. online people, you could get good online. You could get it online, but the old schoolers are like, no, online is its own thing. You know, online warriors, yeah, they'll be good at online, but they'll never be really as good. They'll never be as good as the people that are like playing in the arcades, right? That was the thought. And so I talked to Wolmar, you know, I meet him at TOL and I'm like, hey, so, you know, where are you from? Where are you playing? And he's like, oh, I'm from like the shittiest little village you've never heard of, like out in the boonies in France. It's like, you know, it's like a total like tiny town. And I never play anyone ever in person. It's only online. And I was like, you see? There it is. This is it. This is the guy that's like online only and he's become S tier.
That's kind of funny. I mean, I don't know. I think this game kind of just finds people, lets them get good when, you know, they actually have the drive.
Yeah.
I feel like the opportunities are just there. So
absolutely.
You know, you'll see it in every ST scene. There are players that are world class. And then we get these rare opportunities where you get 102 of them together and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, so we have like a handful of players left. Here's Izzy, one of the brains behind this operation.
Yeah, tournament player, and I think so. The chat was saying probably the best claw in France. I know I'm a little more familiar with Soon, but it sounds like Isimorn is, you know, that next tier up. And Tuxo is a Chun-Li player. Thanks, DC Man, for the assist there. I think where it's going to be Isimorn, Wolmar. I mean, that could be the grand finals of a normal tournament. Isimorn, Wolmar could absolutely be the grand finals of a normal tournament. And here we're going to have it in round 3. So it's going to be very, you know, talking about like the quality of matchups we're going to get. I don't even know how to call that, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Yeah.
I want to say I'm gonna if you put a gun to my head, I'd say Wolmar.
Well, Wolmar got Honda, so you know he might go Honda against Timor.
He might just play Sim. I don't know. Wolmar is like he will counterpick, right? He's not gonna like pick a character out of the spirit of his heart. But I don't know. I feel like his Dhalsim has really good game against Claw. But I don't know. I'm going to give it to Wolmar, the edge, I think.
All right. I mean...
Oh, and I'm sorry. I skipped... oh, my God. I'm such a dick. I didn't even realize there was, like, Mo Green. Sorry. In that same block, there's also, Mo Green and Loops right below Tuxo and Isimorn.
Yeah.
So that's the same block. Yeah. I'm sorry, though. Mo Green is a really cool player I've seen on Fight. He's an Irish player. I believe he plays Ken.
I think so.
And he's always making funny drunken rants in the Fightcade chat. Certainly an entertaining guy. Yeah, ADHD 2 in the chat there. I agree with you. Zagi versus Hokuto Grand Finals. I could see that as well.
Yeah,
easily.
not impossible. And all this is happening in one day, right? And then the 3-on-3 is another day.
And the last block, so we've got Combo Fat and Vins. I don't know Vins, but Combo Fat, a really cool dude that I've been chatting up, like we've been just talking about like the last couple years. I know he has a strong DJ. I don't know. I think he told me, I asked him if he was playing. He said he's kind of mostly retired, but he's playing. So I think he's kind of coming in, a little rusty maybe, but has a lot of solid skills behind him. And the winner of that fight is going to be playing Spinal Blood, who is one of my favorite players to watch. He's an Italian New Sagat player, and he plays, get this, he wins like Euro tournaments with New Sagat. He has beaten Wolmar. Okay, now, in your own Discord, Riz, there was like this giant rant from Muck, our resident Old Sagat player, talking about how unfair, how 10-0 the Sim New Sagat matchup is. Well, here's Spinal Blood with New Sagat. He beats Wolmar, possibly the best Dhalsim in Europe. And I mean, Spinal Blood is a maniac. Spinal Blood is like, he'll just do like he will do like the Daigo Tiger Uppercut. He'll Tiger Uppercut, full screen, hit the like one time that Sim was like pushing a button. He's super fun to watch.
But fun fact about Spinal Blood. When I first started playing online, Spinal Blood was like amongst the first 5 people that I ever played.
Oh, really? Awesome.
So he was around like when I first got on like Kyler. I'm talking about like
wow, old school.
Like 15 years ago or something. I
Wow.
don't know. Yeah, like very long ago. And yeah, we used to play some Champion Edition. He plays Sagat in that as well. And then we played later on is when I learned SC. So I'm talking even before I played SC.
Wow.
I would play Spinal Blood and I used to play CE. And
very cool.
Yeah. And I guess other fun facts. Spinal Blood had a macro, not for in-game, but a macro that types a bunch of smiley faces. So it's like you press 5 on your keyboard and it automatically sends. You know how like you can type in like hey chat like in-game. Sure. So when you're in-game, you press T to type or whatever. So he had a macro that sent like 10 happy faces or something.
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
So whoa, nice combo, and like instantly, right when I say it, just get 10 happy faces. I'm like, bro, that's a macro, and I realized you can like program on your keyboard in the emulator to do that. So I'll always remember that. Last thing I remember about Spinal Blood, I just remembered this now that I was thinking about it. Spinal Blood taught me how to do juice kick.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, yeah, Spinal Blood. I remember we were in Ken stage or something, and like I was like, "Yo, can you show me how to?" I was like, "Is it just? Are you just doing a tiger knee?" And yeah, he taught me how to do juice kick.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I want to say, Spinal Blood. He plays new Sagat, and I've seen him ask like, "Why don't you just play old Sagat?" And you're like crushed fools, and he's just like, "It would be too easy." So Spinal Blood is like Oro. He's got one hand tied behind his back because it would just be too easy to crush everyone with old Sagat. That's how good. And I think if Spinal were to play old Sagat in this tournament, I think he has got a shot at winning the whole thing. I think just because of how challenging new Sagat's matchups are going to be, it's going to be, I can easily see him make top 16, top 8. It's going to be really hard to make that next level. But if he were to play old Sagat, man, I think the sky's the limit.
Side note, Walmart is actually playing online, so I'm about to spectate his match on here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we got his match on the stream.
Decision there.
But,
and now, finally, we've got the last of our Mexican contingent. I don't know who Monput Vincent and Lena Donia are, but they're going to play my favorite Mexican Bipson player. I'm not going to say favorite North American Bipson because, I don't want to insult my host.
Yeah, I mean, because it's Riz0ne, right? Yeah, Riz0ne. So.
Yeah. But Kyuya is a fantastic dictator player that's really, I'm always impressed at how Kyuya is able to make, the best of like a lot of Bipson's tough matchups. And to be able to like excel in those tough matchups like Chun-Li, Dhalsim, you really need to have a fantastic understanding of Bison's normals. You need to be able to understand, when those little subtleties, like when can you jump in and counter, challenge air to air, and when can't you, when to block, when to use, stand jab, low fierce, all the like very situational anti-airs that Bison has, and Kyuya's got all of those. And so I'm excited to see him potentially face up against Spinal, and I don't know how that would go. I mean, Bison has the advantage against, would you say, against new Sagat?
So Dictator has 2 matchups in the game where he definitely wins. And then like another 2 or 3 matchups where it's like, eh. And those 2 matchups that he definitely wins are Cammy and New Sagat. New Sagat actually being his best matchup. But,
is that right? His best matchup. Okay.
But it's like Sagat still got a fireball uppercut, right? Like it's still favorable for Dictator. He doesn't have to really do a lot. You can just walk up and kick. Like you can beat low tiger shot with walk up crouching medium punch. You can't do that against, old Sagat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now one really important thing about
wait, say that again about medium punch?
Oh, so Dictator, if you just like at the start of the round just do walk up crouching MP, they'll stuff Tiger Shot on startup. Like there are sometimes,
Really?
so I would fight Yaya, right? And Yaya has me in the corner. And for me to end the match while I'm blocking Tiger Shots in the corner, I'll just find a gap where he stops throwing for a quick second and do crouching medium punch, and it'll trade with this Tiger Shot and I'll win. So I've closed out so many matchups.
Can you carry that into a double knee?
Well, you have to do walk up crouching MP.
Walk up, but so it doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, because you're walking to oh shit, I gotta take advantage of me Tiger Shot again real quick.
Yeah,
crouching MP.
interesting.
Doesn't work against ult Sagat. But there's one thing that
and sorry, just going back to that low MK, that doesn't work in that situation. It's got to be low MP.
Yeah, MP.
Really interesting.
But one thing that's really important, this is Spinal Blood knows it, but if Dictator throws you and you tech the throw, hold up toward, because if Dictator does anything like they were trying some kind of follow or whatever, they're gonna have to block that. They're gonna have to block your jump roundhouse now, and now you get a throw set up or you get a mix up. So there'll be times where anytime I would throw Yaya, he will hold up toward immediately, and he starts taking advantage. Like it's really hard to anti-air. So Sagat has that, and Sagat also has the ability to tech throws, which means that the throw loop, which is
a big deal. It's a big deal. Yeah,
it's big. It's big against Dictator because Dictator just wants to throw loop ult Sagat. Like the ult Sagat, the ult Sagat Sagat matchups are completely different. Kyoya knows the ult Sagat matchup. He plays H0 so much so that H0 doesn't even use ult Sagat against him anymore. He'll switch
Is that right? He doesn't use ult Sagat. Wow.
Right.
Wow,
he's not comfortable against Kyoya.
Fascinating.
But now
and then you're making me think it's going to be Kyoya's win here. Then
yeah, but again, if Ultra Combo were here and he heard what you said about Spinal Blood picking Ultra God and winning, he would say no. It's a completely different fireball pattern. You don't simply just pick Ultra God and win. Like they're in his philosophy, they're completely different characters. And I have to agree, it's not as simple as let me just switch and I'll just suddenly be OP. You'll be OP, but you won't be efficient.
I thought it was like you're just playing Sagat and all of a sudden you've got like turbo boost and
nah, it doesn't work that way. It's vastly different. I mean, you'll probably still on the upside of things like your matchups will still be easier, but you're not going to play
light trash talking like, okay, Muck, so yeah, it's so different. Now you have to do slow, fast Tiger uppercut and win, right? Like that's how it's really hard. Slow, fast, fast.
So I think here, like Spinal Blood has the experience. He's one of the most experienced players in this whole bracket that we've seen. And Kyoya, I mean, when did he ever fight a Sagat, right? So there is a little bit. There is a little bit of
how much Dictator experience. There aren't that many Dictator experience scenes. So but the thing is, Spinal. I don't know if it's reactions or reading or what, but he just like, I mean, he'll like Tiger uppercut Psycho Crushers and stuff. That's just like really, like stuff that's like hard to react to. That like shouldn't work. And you're like, okay, you can't do that again. Because against Dictator, you can't randomly uppercut. You're gonna against someone like Kyoya's caliber, you're just gonna get instantly and dead. But like it's like he makes it work, right?
Yeah, I mean we talked about that before as well. Like he'll just kind of uppercut you at the time where you happen to press a button. So on paper, Dictator wins pretty handedly, but most people are. It's kind of weird. It's almost like Sagat's weakness ends up being his strength because people are just not used to fighting.
Yeah, people underestimate. Well, hey, let's do that. To close out the stream, why don't we go do our fantasy top 8? Now that we've seen the bracket, and we can take into account like matchups and seeding. Let's go down to like what our round 4 is. Is that winners top 8?
Oh, this is winner semifinals is winners top 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we would move to here losers round 8.
So I'm just gonna kind of pick. I don't want to look at the losers. Let's just look at that first list. I'm gonna pick like going top down. Kind of you and I. Let's do our top 8 picks So let's see. Can you scroll? Okay, so Zagi, I think you'd be crazy not to have Zagi in your top 8
All right,
list.
so Zagi, Hokuto.
Well, no, I want to go top down because it matters for the the matchups. Like if someone really good might get matched up against Hokuto, and then someone like less good might advance further. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean it's
so
too hard. We would have to zoom out a lot.
I'm gonna put Kazel's in the bazooka block, but I'm gonna go for Kazel here. That's a stacked block. That second block, bazooka, Soon, Kazel. That is a rough.
So we're going up to winners quarterfinal then. So let's just do 8 winners. There?
Let's
do 8 winners.
Okay, winners quarterfinal. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, so winners quarterfinal. So that's round 5, is it? Yeah. So in winners quarterfinal, I'm predicting Zagi versus Kazel. That's my guess. But I would not at all fault you for saying Zagi versus Bazooka.
Yeah. I'm 100% same page. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. This is a toss up. But Zagi, I think. I mean, Mega Man. I don't know. Anything can happen, but if I were a betting man and it do what it be, then yeah, it's Zagi and Kazel or Bazooka.
Okay. All right, so Zagi and Kazel, that's our pick for winners quarter for that sort of block A, let's call it. So it's gonna be 4 blocks, right? Block B, oh man, Yito and Melania, Jesus Christ. I think it's Yito and Melania. I'm gonna say Melania. Versus Balcork is where I would. But oh man, there's also Kyukai. Yeah, I'm gonna say Melania versus and Balcork is my guess, and that's just from the how the seating is and like the path I see.
Right, the path.
I see it being Yito versus Melania and Melania taking it, and then I think the only real challenge we've got versus Balcork is Kyukai, but I think I see Balcork winning that. So I think our 4 I think we'd see Yito, Melania, Balcork, Kyukai, and it coming out to Melania and Balcork. What would you think?
Yeah, I can still see Yito taking this one. I can see that. So I'm on that boat of same thing with like Bazooka, Kazel. So Yito or Melania, but then for me, Balcork is like the Zagi of this bracket.
Yeah.
Although Kyukai can do it.
Kyukai's really good. Really good. And isn't Guile like pretty good against Faye?
Yeah, but Fei Long is kind of a scary character. I talk to Makiri about this every week, and he's like, yeah, in Japan they're kind of saying he's like a Kuso character because his lockdown is just kind of insane, and
it's so oppressive. Yeah.
And back in the day when they were doing those Ranbats, there was a Ranbat once that had Kurahashi playing Guile, and it had like I think Mateki might have been in one of them, and there were a couple of Fei Longs, and those Fei Longs were just killing it. Like Kurahashi was not getting wins, and
wow.
This is Fei Long Guile, and the thing is so Fei Long, if he does cross up medium kick, Stand Fierce Rekka, the Rekka doesn't combo against Guile. His hurt box is a little bit different, so you have to do different combos.
Balcork knows all that. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
So like what you would do is like you could do cross up, stand strong, stand fierce, Rekka. The Rekka whiffs, and you just do walk up throw, and that's a stun. Like that's a Fei Long Guile specific setup.
Although I would not be surprised if Kyukai knows that.
And flash kicks a throw. Yeah, exactly.
Flash kicks right, exactly.
Yeah. So, but again, I don't know. I still give the edge to Balcork, and Balcork has like the traveling experience, right? Like Japan, US, like experience under your belt will give you that edge.
But just going on setups versus Guile, you're reminding me of one of my favorite dictator setups is, you do like crossover knee, stand medium punch, and then you get a free throw against Guile because he's out of range. And then I remember, it's like if you're playing a really top tier Guile, they'll like take the hit on the cross up because they know you're going to go for that just so that they have charge to flash kick you after the stand MP,
Yeah,
which
so
is super dangerous because then if you know that, then you can just end with a combo, right?
right, it ends up being RPS, but then at that point,
Yeah.
like the gals just take the throw, start building your charge, and then deal with the follow
Yeah,
up.
yeah, that's probably the better thing. But yes,
Yeah. 'Cause-
so that was block B. Block C, this is the max 31 block.
Yep.
So yeah, starting at, if you scroll down a little bit more, so we see get Q cut. Yeah, so we just started with max. So that's max 31, and oh man, this is a killer bracket. We got max 31. We've got Ricky, Banshee Bot, and Orf are all contenders here. Man,
if Orf is on his A game, I can see Orf getting here.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
Orf is on his A game, and for me, Max, I don't. For me, Max,
Yeah.
I don't care what matchups are in his way. Max is Max.
It doesn't matter,
so,
right?
Yeah,
So
I don't
Max-
really care what because you can't always make top threes and win all these team tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Cammy and still, yeah.
How do you? I still don't understand how Cammy survives against the French Honda army because it seems like that's a shutdown. But anyway, I guess.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be Max. It's gonna be Max versus.
It's scripted.
Do we say Banshee? Do we say Banshee?
I say Orf is if Orf is on his A game.
Because man, Orf is so effing good, and it's like such a rough. But man, it's a
thanks,
rough
Turbo.
matchup.
Thanks.
Max Orf. That chat thinks Max Orf. Yeah. Even if Orf, it's like what's the meme of like if Shaggy is using even 1% of his power, he wins, right? So if Orf is using it like, if Orf is at like under 1%, then maybe he can allow Banshee to win. But man, Banshee won.
Yeah, Banshee's got the momentum. Yeah, Banshee's got the momentum, and Orf, like, this is Rusty Orf. I'm just biased because, like, I know Orf.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a bias, but yeah, Banshee.
I've got recency bias from like Banshee.
Well,
like...
I mean, what would be insane though is if this, block C or block 3 or whatever we call it, if the two people that make it out are the low tier heroes, the Cammy and Blanca, that would be pretty nutty.
I think so. Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
All right, let's look at block D. Well, I'm putting Hokuto block D no matter what. As much as I want Silent Scope to win. I'm Team USA, but man, Hokuto.
Well, remember Zargot's also in there.
And I love Zargot, great human being, awesome player, but Hokuto is what my Zagi and Hokuto are to me the top two in like tournament.
Yeah.
So I'm putting Hokuto there for sure.
Well, remember, Marcade is also here too. Like, this Honda can definitely.
Oh yeah, he's there. Yeah.
Yeah. This is kind of Marcade is like a little bit of a stealth right now because he has like a round 1 match to do, but.
That's true.
A little stealth play right there.
All right, so if you're not putting Hokuto, who are you putting there in that spot instead?
No, I'm still putting Hokuto because
okay.
Yeah, I'm still putting Hokuto. Hokuto's like he's just sharp. Like
Turbo Annihilator.
Like if Hokuto ever loses, it's like damn, you must have the other player must have really gotten in your head. That's how I see Hokuto.
Yeah. And then, man, we've got the second part of block D is so juicy. There's Wolmar, there's Isimorn, there's Spinal Blood, there's Kyuya. Bottom half of D might be the scariest.
Actually, let me tell you the lore. Let me tell you the lore on what's gonna happen here. We're gonna get Hokuto versus Kyuya right here.
You think it's gonna be Hokuto versus Kyuya?
That would be.
It's very possible, but man, Wolmar. Oh man, it's so rough. Dalsum. I mean, what do you do as dictator against a good Dalsum? I mean, what do you do? You just die, don't you?
What do you do against Honda? Same shit, but. But Kyuya has the Yito experience, and Kyuya he had Honda players that he used to practice with offline as well. There's the smiley face dude.
The Wolmar is not Yito. Wolmar is not playing Magneto. He's playing absolute not afraid to just be total bullshit, you know, and capitalize on everything.
He's playing Street Fighter 1.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe I'm just thinking of matchup here, but maybe I've been so terrorized by playing against like Jason Cole's Sim. I feel like you end up in the corner and you're dead. There's like literally nothing you can do. This Dictator, I don't know. You're better than me. You tell me. Does Dictator have any outs against Sim? I mean, I feel like it's like one of his worst matchups.
Again, so Dictator can do like throw a mid screen, go for cross up slide, pick the like
that's bag of old tricks.
Dictator
that's not winning. I'll shut up. Keep going. Keep going.
Oshawott, thank you, Oshawott. Yeah, the thing with Dictator is like he will get a chance. For example, he could do another gift sub. Thank you, Oshawott. So like Dictator can do like jump medium kick, trade anti-air against Dawson. You know, like he has like he'll get a chance at least. Like he'll get to make something happen. Then there's Psycho Magic. Like Psycho Magic is overrated, by the way, guys. Like the stuff that you see in those videos, like it's not a real infinite. But yeah, Oshawott with another one, 3 in a row.
Awesome, Oshawott.
So I think Dictator has stuff.
You're saying there's a chance.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Shout outs to Larry and.
Exactly. Is that your ski? Both of them? Yeah.
Classic movie.
But, so good. Sam, I got her last name. Samsonite.
I like it a lot.
But, I like it. Such a great movie. We need to do a watch on stream. But okay, but to Street Fighter, I agree. This is I'm gonna say that the most busted. The tier I would least, the bracket I would least like to be in is that bottom half of
yeah.
Walmart, Isimorn, Spinal, Kuya. That's like the scariest. It's not necessarily the scariest player, but it's like the total like average talent is like the most scary, the worst, you know, the biggest killers. So we're saying so Hokuto and you're thinking Kuya? Hokuto Kuya? I'm gonna say Hokuto Walmart. That's gonna be my go, but I can't follow you for saying Kuya.
Well, I think Kuya can take it over Spinal Blood. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Walmart Kuya would be a good match regardless.
Dawson is so oppressive.
No. So once Dictator is in the corner, the matchup is literally dead. So if you watch Murasaki, the way that he beats Dawson is Murasaki never gets cornered. Somehow, it's like he knows. All right, if I block this Yoga Fire, they have no follow. He knows like if I block this Yoga Fire, they have no follow up, or if I block this Yoga Fire, I'm dead. So I'm gonna neutral jump and eat a foot instead. Like Murasaki just knows how to stay out of the corner. If you can stay out of the corner, you can fight Dawson. I mean, if you can stay out of the corner, you won't die as quickly against Dawson. Let me put it that way.
Well, X Gamer is saying that we're maybe counting Isimorn out, which is true. And you know, Isimorn, I mean, he's got a good matchup against Sim, so we could end up with Isimorn, Kuya, and man, I in that one, but I admit I haven't seen Isimorn play. I just know he's very good, but I haven't seen his actual play.
My personal bias, I would want Isimorn to do really well because like he's putting in a lot of effort in this event, and like he's also entering. I know what the stress is like when you're
for sure.
Because his priority is going to be the tournament. His priority is not winning. Let's be real. If he wins, it's like, oh, great. But his priority is actually, let me make this the best possible event. Yeah. And so, you know, if he's out of the tournament earlier, it's like, oh, well, I lost, but now
easier. So mentally, you're not 100%. You're focusing on other stuff.
Right. Yeah. But I would want him to do well because, you know, he deserves it for the work that he's putting in, and like he's so eager to enter. He's not going to go easy on anybody. But you know, you know, not a lot of people can do that where they're competitors and commentators and
you're right.
You know, like
It's a lot of
Matsun,
energy.
like Matsun can do that, but
Yeah.
he's like the only person in the world that I can think of that can do that. Yeah, it's not easy when,
Yeah,
when
for
you're
sure.
you know juggling, you know, because you're responsible for everyone who's there. You're responsible for ensuring that like the power
Yeah.
doesn't go out or you know
Yeah.
like whatever, right?
Well, that's a fair. That's fair. So, okay. So our top. So I think we both agree on Hokuto for the top half of D. Bottom half of D. It sounds like we got a judge split here.
I say Walmart. I
I'm
think
still gonna go
Walmart.
with Walmart.
Yeah,
You think
Walmart.
Walmart?
Yeah,
Okay.
Walmart. So.
And I think we're in agreement. So let's recap. So our top 8 is let's go bottom up. So we're saying top 8 winners. We're looking at Walmart, Hokuto for D. Walmart, Hokuto for D. Here, let me write this down.
Well, remember this will be actually top 16, but it's the winners top 16.
Yeah.
So 8 of the
So Walmart, Hokuto for D block. C block we had. Can you go? Who's C again? C is that the Max one?
Yeah, we said Max and Banshee Bot.
Max, you agreed with Banshee? I mean, I could see. I think Orf. We're kind of like unsure about Banshee or Orf, but I think we're both going for Banshee. Maybe just for we're not sure if Orf is 100% into it.
For the lore.
For the lore.
Yeah.
Okay, and then B block. That's the Balcorg block for B.
Yeah.
Balcorg. And he's the bottom, and the top. I think we said, was it Yito Balcork that we said, or Milan? Oh no, Melania. I think I said Melania.
Yeah, Melania.
I think I'm putting Melania over Yito, but I think we're split here. You thought it was Yito?
Yeah. This one's debatable.
Okay, that's a split on that. Okay, Yito Balcork, and then for block A, it's Zagi at the top,
and then Kazel or Bazooka.
And I think we're both in agreement. If we had to bet, we'd Kazel,
Because it's goat versus horse, or cyborg versus I don't know.
Yeah. So our only disagreement is I think Melania. I'm giving the edge to Melania. You're giving the edge to Yito, and I mean I can't really disagree with you either. But if I had to pick one, I'd just pick Melania. Because he's got that, you were saying Ito's one opening is the offense, and Melania is like the offensive Honda,
Yeah, as long as you can counter the Ito style, which is don't let him get the momentum. I think for me that's just the optimal strategy. But yeah, it's fun stream.
Cool, man. All right. Well, I guess it's already past midnight. I'm gonna try to get to bed and all that. But that was a fun wrap up. I'll post our results in the chat. And are you restreaming this tournament?
No, but I'll probably watch it on Discord and hang out with people.
Yeah, for sure. We should do like a group watch or something like that.
Yeah, we can do that on Discord. So any of the US players, if you guys want to hang out and
for sure,
watch it on Discord, we'll just watch the stream and hang out on voice.
Okay, cool. Well, this is gonna be super fun, super exciting. I wish we had more of our top US players, but I'm hoping this will be a call out for like next year. This might be like European Evo, and we'll get even more representation.
Oh shit! And Rockman on his flight. I'm in World 6 of Super Mario 3.
Nice.
Still the flight.
He's in that. Whoa. Nice, Mega Man. Well, we're rooting for you, man. Rooting for you. This is ridiculous. This thing you're showing with what is that? Troy and who else is that? This is the silliest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, shout out to Kyokuji for making this one.
You know what's crazy? I can hear them. I have not seen that movie in 20 years, and I can hear dum 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 dum. Dum dum dum, like it's playing right now, just in my head.
Saber, Kyokuji, and Buff Choi.
All right, man. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks for hosting this, and I'll paste the results in our chat for predictions.
Yeah, appreciate it, Zass, and definitely gotta get you on SLB one day. Stop running away.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good, man.
All right, y'all. Take care.
All right, take care. Bye.